the topic of our presentation, and of course the paper that we are presenting for NI 2020 is attitude towards plagiarism, the case of an Australian university in the United Arab Emirates. The authors are Ajrina Hysaj, Abir El Khouly, and Aisha Wasim Qureshi. The overview of our paper and of our presentation is an introduction whereby we will be introducing the background of our research, and then we'll move forward with the literature review, which will give a brief introduction of the analysis, the main themes from the articles that have been analyzed. And after that, we'll continue with the aims and research hypothesis. The results and analysis will follow the discussion, and then we will conclude with the recommendations and conclusion. The University of Wollongong in Dubai, where this paper where this research took place, is the oldest Australian university in the United Arab Emirates, and it is a university that has seen an enormous amount of changes in the demographics of the student body and the faculty. The purpose of this paper was to analyze the attitudes of international students towards plagiarism. It is worth mentioning that the University of Wollongong in Dubai has over 80 nationalities, and as you can, as could possibly be imagined, the number of these nationalities is very important. Well, the number of the nationalities and mostly the nationalities themselves are very important for us as academics to be researching on. So in other words, in everything that we analyze, in every study that we take, we try to take forward, we need to understand, and we try to understand the impact of cultures. Now, according to findings from Heckler and Fonde, 2015, creating awareness about plagiarism has a positive aspect in reducing the instances of plagiarism. However, it's very interesting to say that and to understand that it's the perception the students have, it's quite different from the perceptions of the institutions, and is even more different to the the perceptions of institutions, and actually even the policies which are already in place. So generally speaking, if we can find a way of understanding the perceptions of students and then finding a middle road between the kind of perceptions of students and the attitudes of the institutions, then obviously we will hopefully have less instances of plagiarism, and we will instead have better learning experiences for our multicultural students. So everything basically, it should start with the understanding of multiculturalism and understanding of the attitudes of multicultural students in regards to plagiarism. Now, academic dishonesty has been a major challenge in the Arabian Gulf, and is very much similar to that of educational institutions worldwide anyways. But interestingly, the population of the Middle East generally does not really, obviously it's just like any other population really, so basically people don't enjoy cheating and lying. And nevertheless, it's very interesting that there is a large number of students who actually plagiarize. So the point of this study was to analyze these attitudes of the culturally diverse students and actually try to draw a line between what is culture, what is not culture, and more than anything, if culture has an impact on the students' behavior or not. Another point that we tried to analyze was development of English writing skills. Now, English writing skills are very much more than a daunting task or a fun activity. Majority of our students come from non-English background. However, it's worth pointing out that a few of them actually, well, not a few, but quite a few of them may be third culture kids, so they may have studied English their entire life. Nevertheless, their first language is not English. So the challenges that we have in our classes are too many to count. We have challenges that have to do with education, schooling systems in different countries. Since we have students from all over the world, the schooling systems have had their impact on the way that students perceive plagiarism or students perceive the worthiness of academic study skills. So what I tried to do with this research was to understand if we could address two main points. One of them would be that if actually students understand what plagiarism is really in reality, and if they understand the social and the academic aspects of plagiarism. So we had two kinds of surveys. We had a sample size consisting of 67 students, age group from 18 to 22, male and female, from different disciplines and different study levels. We calculated the survey. We had two surveys. One was for basically understanding what plagiarism is, and the other one for understanding what students actually have, what are the feelings that students have in regards to the plagiarism. So target, well, basically, I mean, we had MCQs, and the MCQs were yes, no, and not sure. And basically they had the definitions of plagiarism and application of avoidance of plagiarism in a written format. Now, the analysis used was a z-test to the proportion and for the proportion at level of significance 0.05, 0.05, one tail test with critical value 1.645. The sampling distribution of proportion to be approximately normal was checked. According to our results, very interestingly, students actually do not really, if you look at the data, students do not really understand specifically what it means to plagiarize or to not plagiarize. So basically, they're confused about the factors that have to do with plagiarism and not plagiarism. So they have difficulty in understanding if something is called plagiarism or not. Another very interesting thing is that quite a few of them actually did respond correctly to the questions, and yet the instances of plagiarism on that specific semester were pretty much the same as in previous semesters. This has to do, of course, a bit of it has to do with the fact that they are not English speakers and with the fact that they may feel intimidated because the mindset of people may change based on the fact that they are being put on spot. They are being asked to write the same paper as a native English speaker. Having said so though, that the possibility of native speakers having better writing skills compared to non-natives depends on how much the native speakers, it depends on the factors that, many factors actually. I mean, again, it depends on the schooling system, it depends on as well on how much students read, how much students like to write, how much students like to read. But The main thing is that they all need to be given the chance to develop their set of skills, and then only we can check if they are able to produce a good piece of work or if they are not. So, in other words, we as educators need to try to close all the possible loops, that all the possible we need to look at the problem from all the angles and try to understand if there is something which we can help our students with. Thank you.